It is the end of March, and it's time for the State of Anderson County with Anderson County Administrator Rusty Burns. What is happening in Anderson County here as we go into springtime here at the end of March?
There are a lot of things happening. We're getting ready for the Saluda River Rally, which will be the 10th anniversary, so we're getting ready for that. We're also looking further ahead for the 20th anniversary of Celebrate Anderson. Next week, I believe on April the 2nd at 2 o'clock, we will have the opening of the permanent restroom at Green Pond Landing, which we're very excited about that, and we'll be opening that. And it's a 2-story restroom, by the way. And we will be opening that the week that Bassmaster comes in for the Elite Series.
And it's the first time we've had the Elite Series.
It's the first time.
I want to put a pause there and come right back to it, but we talked about the 20th anniversary of Celebrate Anderson. Do we have any plans yet in place, or are we still working?
We're still working through a few details, but that's coming up. Just something to be thinking about. Plus, we've got some other things coming up at the Civic Center. It looks right now that the county will be doing its traditional Celebrate Anderson, but it appears we may have a 2-day music festival before on that Friday and that Saturday. Now, that will be done by a private promoter, but that looks like that's coming in there. Plus, we've got Larry the Cable Guy coming in, a lot of other people. So we're looking forward to all that. Plus, we've got the fair coming up here very quickly. And everybody always loves the fair, so we have that coming up, and we're looking forward to that.
So let's go back to Green Pond. We've got the Elite Series. It's the first time the Elite Series has been
First time the Elite Series is coming in. It's a big deal. It's an international event, so we're excited about that. And
it's been hopping out there all spring already.
It's been hopping. In the weekend after that, we have the Fishers of Men Championship, and that's probably going to be 125, 150 boats.
That's a national championship.
That's a national championship. We're very excited about Brian from Belton winning his first FLW championship. As you know, whenever he fishes all over this country, he has Green Pond in Anderson County on all of his material, his boats, his shirts. So he's been a great ambassador for us, so we're very proud of that.
And he's a good guy.
And besides that, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And then we have on, let me see, April the 8th, at town hall meeting. We don't know the location exactly yet for Councilman Davis, 6:30 to 8, and that will be his first town hall meeting, so we have that coming up. Naturally, one of the things...
Our new council guys are getting settled in.
Yeah, they're getting settled in. One of the big things that we have right this time of the year is getting ready for the budget. Well, we're always working on the budget, but now it gets more intense. So I would imagine in about a week or so, we're going to be hitting that hard.
What are the biggest challenges for the budget this year?
The biggest challenges for the budget are more people are moving into Anderson County, and they're requesting more services. So it's always a balance on, a lot of people are coming here because we have, relatively speaking, a low tax rate. And so, but they want more services, and there are more people to serve. More people mean more activity for the police, more activity for the assessor. So we're trying to manage this growth, which is not going to go away, which is going to continue to happen. The number one issue up in the Powdersville area right now is land use, and everybody wants to move to Powdersville. The developers do, and they want to build those houses, and the people want to be there because the school district one's great reputation. All our school districts are great, but that one seems to have a particular good reputation, and it's right beside Greenville and Pickens, so it's not that large of a disruption in your life if you're working in Greenville to go to Powdersville. Plus, we're seeing people moving in here. I mean, we're getting Canadians moving here. Again, I've said this 100 times, people from upstate New York, but they're all coming, and they're all coming to Anderson County. So,
and it's not just the tax rate that's bringing them here.
It's not the tax rate, it's the climate. They like it. They think it's a nice place. With the work the city and the county's assisting them in downtown, we think that's going to be great. We had some very substantial meetings last week on the property behind the old courthouse. Some of the plans are beginning to take shape. Some of the tenants are beginning to take shape. Some of the people are already asking about, when you build those condominiums, we'd like to buy one of those condominiums. So hopefully by January, we could possibly be breaking ground on the development behind the old courthouse.
When will we have an announcement on more details?
I would say that's probably a month away because we're still working through some things and still working with some people who say they'd like to be a part of it. And again, it's a public-private partnership, and we don't want a bunch of government offices there because we want it to be more than 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. We want it to be 24 hours a day, wide open. And you've got a lot of other things that are happening downtown.
Well, before we get away from the growth, two of the things that seem to always be one of the biggest challenges for budget time are not things people get excited about, and that's sewers and roads. As you grow, those aren't optional kind of amenities to offer people.
No, one of the things that we've been doing every year is getting to replace a major roof. Today, right now, they're on top of the new courthouse, which is 26 years old, but it's still the new courthouse, putting a roof on that.
Million, half, what was that?
It's $1 million.
Something.
It hurts to think about it.
Right.
Before that, we had to put a roof on the museum.
Right.
Before that, we had to put a roof on the Civic Center. So we're putting a lot of money on roofs. This year in the budget, this year and next year, we're going to have to repoint all the bricks on this courthouse to keep them from falling on somebody's head and killing them.
It's an old building.
It's
It has
an
to be
old-
taken care of.
Yeah, and it has to be taken care of. And we've just put in a new fire alarm system in the museum and in the new courthouse. So there's a lot of those things that you do that nobody sees. Now, we're in pretty good shape on the sewer because council passed that bond, which is going to be paid for by revenue from industries coming in here. It didn't require a tax increase. So those things are
That's going
about,
to be a long-term saving on sewer, isn't it?
that's going to be a long-term savings on sewer. So we're excited about that. We've had several nice economic development announcements. I guess one of the most exciting is we've got a private company that's going to come in Anderson County and build 3 spec buildings. 3. One of them's 200,000 square feet. So that's a big deal because space is at a premium. We had a meeting Friday with the residents of the golf course near TTI. We had a wonderful meeting with, I was there, Councilman Sanders was there, representatives from TTI, and people who live at that golf course. We had a wonderful meeting. They were excited about what was happening at TTI, and already a little partnership springing up between those two groups, so we're excited about that.
Well, TTI continues to grow. People,
Oh, look,
it's kind of out of sight if you don't drive out there, but
but what they said 3 weeks ago is already changed. So that's continuing to grow. And plus you're getting, as I've said before, a lot of commercial tire kickers out there looking at going out there to serve that facility. And you're getting hotels looking in that area to serve that facility. Because people don't realize that in every Home Depot, they have a, in essence, Ryobi section where all of their products are there. And there's a Ryobi person, TTI person, who services every Home Depot in the country. And every one of those people has to come to Anderson, South Carolina to be trained. So that's a whole lot of people coming in and out. A whole lot of people coming in and out.
and it just so for people who have not looked at it or thought about it in a long time, it's a couple million square feet under roof and
Yes, and more to come. And if you ride down Interstate 85 and you look to the right, if you're getting off 81 and going towards Atlanta, you can see that huge new glass building right there.
it's going to out Hubble lighting.
It's going to out Hubble lighting. So we've got that going on.
What about the entrance from the south side? Where are we at on that sign?
We're still looking to raise money to put the Welcome to Anderson County sign.
What does that cost?
All total, probably around $65,000.
Thank you.
So we're doing that. Council just recently participated with the Will Ragland's Theater over in Pelzer to help him complete their new marquee. So we were happy to do that.
They just won a Southeastern Award and going to the Nationals now for their work. So
They're
been
always
recognized
they're
all over.
always winning an award, and still for $10, it's one of the best entertainment values you're ever going to have, and the quality of their productions is amazing. They're really good.
And the theater is a great place too. Will does a great job with that, and then the actual venue itself has been refurbished to really make a good, not a bad seat in the house.
No, so we're happy about that. We have entertained lots of people interested on the Saluda River, as I mentioned earlier, but we actually had a very, very, very well-known brewery looking in the Pelzer, West Pelzer area last week, and looking to put a venue on the river. So we're really excited about that, and if we were allowed to say the name, everybody would know that, but it's not just going to be a brewery, it would be an event venue where you could have all kinds of things going on. So
And that river rally this year, it looks like it's going to have the best water they've ever had, and the most, and they've already gotten people from, I think, 7 or 8 states coming.
yep. So we got a lot of people coming for that, and they don't come just for that day. We'll have people camping out by the river because we have camping sites out there. And you got people who are coming in for these fishing tournaments. And what we try to get across is they don't show up the day of the tournament. They come in here weeks, months before and practice. So they're here all the time. So that's been real successful.
And Anderson as an outdoor destination really is a fairly recent thing. I mean, we were never thought of that until 10 or 15 years ago.
No, but we're finally, with our Visit Anderson, our Convention and Visitor Center Bureau, trying to advertise Anderson as a whole. The Landmark Conference is coming up, which is an historical conference, and they're going to do tours of Honea Path and Belton in that part of the world. They're going to do them in Pendleton. It'll be a 3-day conference here. We have a conference coming here, and they want to be in Anderson, and they want to see everything we have. And for years, we've never told everybody we have in a unified, organized way. So
It's the first time that group's come here, too,
it's the
right?
first time that group's come here, so we're excited about that. But then we've got other conventions that are coming here, and we want more. Did I mention the fair? The fair's coming up. Everybody's excited about that. We'll have more rides at the fair this year than we've ever had before. And there's one they won't let me talk about, which is a super duper, something that everybody's
Something we
crazy
won't get on.
Something that we won't get on. But anyway, that will be here.
One of the things council's been pushing for, and the reason I mention it is because there's a big event coming up, is to try to do something about the litter in the county.
The litter, and this is interesting because we get people, there's a group called the South Carolina Administrators Conference, and every administrator in the state's on it, and if you have a problem, you can put on there, hey, have you guys ever dealt with this? Or have you guys ever dealt with this? And then some of the administrators said, yeah, we handled it this way, yeah, we did it this way. But anyway, it's a good little resource. We got covered up because the people in Lexington County sent it out to everybody. We're dying here because of litter. And then everybody else said they were dying all over the state, so it's not unique to us.
Right.
And people say, well, why don't you do something about it? Well, we've won the award for recycling last year. I'm pretty sure we're going to win it this year. We have 3 litter law enforcement officers. That's their sole job. We have one who is half sheriff's department, half litter officer. So in essence, you could say we have 3.5. And council's added those in the last 3 or 4 years. Council's also added an additional pickup from the jail. We now have 2 jail crews who go out and pick up trash. After beating and crying and pleading, the state last week actually cleaned up, which was their responsibility, to do a major cleanup twice a year. They had been skipping it, and I understand, they said because of the hurricanes and everything, that they had other priorities, but they got back on that. And I think the amount they picked up on Highway 29 was tons and tons. And we've got the Great Anderson County cleanup coming up. And so we're going to have a rally at the Civic Center like we do every year, and we encourage everybody to participate on that Saturday. If you need to get in touch with us, you can call us. We've got brochures and flyers everywhere, but you can dial 260-4031 and we can hook you up. We have about 75 roads that are adopted by groups now. That's always available. And we will give you your vest, your tongs, which you can also use to get things out of the cabinet with, and just a whole lot of things that we can provide for you. But
And no matter where you live in the county, there are, if you count the small there are 18 places, and none of them are very far from. I just drove to all of them, and if you live anywhere in this county, you are not far from a convenience center, recycling place, or somewhere to take your stuff.
all 6 days a week. 6 days a week, and we will recycle it and we will take care of it. And we have some people, and they said, because now you can put plastic and cardboard together, and we had a complaint last week, well, y'all aren't recycling anymore. Y'all are just hauling all this stuff to the landfill. Well, no, we're not hauling it to the landfill because we don't want to pay for it to go to the landfill. We want to recycle it because it makes money for the county. But we have what we call the MRF. And we have people at that MRF whose job 5 days a week is to separate these components into where they go. Greenville County and half the counties in the state don't do glass anymore. We still make a few dollars recycling glass. All those other things that we're making money on. Now, you and I both read that article in the New York Times about we don't know how much longer recycling nationally is going to last. So I'm worried to death about that. But when China quit taking every recyclable we had, that was a blow. And now India is taking some, but it's not as much as the Chinese were taking. So we're real curious as to where that's going to go, because we don't want a landfill 60 feet tall, and we would like to recycle.
And you mentioned earlier, as we grow, people who are moving here from other places are just accustomed to recycling. Because I know
Yes.
when I see people at convenience centers start talking to them, a huge number of them are from other places.
But you and I know that Philadelphia at one time was the worst place to recycle. Then they became the best to recycle, and now they're talking about possibly not recycling. The airport in Nashville has recycling bins, but they don't recycle anything you put in that bin. Somebody called them out on it, and they said, we're just trying to get people in the mode to recycle. So it's a shell game in a lot of ways, but I can assure you ours is straight up, and I just hope we can continue to
And
do
right now,
that.
there's somewhere local. And the other thing, the addition of Slabtown, if people haven't been out there, that's a destination just to see how big it is.
Well, some people make that a Saturday morning rendezvous where you go and you can go to the Slabtown grocery and do that too. But when my girls were little, one of the things we did was, we went to the dump and we recycled on Saturday, and
Right.
it was just part of our little, we're riding around, we're going to do this, do this, do this. Everybody looked forward to that, and they're still fanatical recyclers.
Well, Slabtown should really help too, because before that you had to drive all the way down to Star to get rid of limbs and stuff, and now you've got a place in the north part of the county where people can.
And people are really taking advantage of it. And as you know, they're easy to get into. They're clean. That we have ambassadors, and so, those are some of our best ambassadors, and they're also some of our best intelligence agents, because they know who's moving in and who's moving out and everything going on, and they're always saying, did you know this? Did you know this? So we've got that going on.
So litter's a priority, and we were doing lots of stuff going on the county's doing already, yeah.
Yep. And again, back on economic development, we had another announcement on a company that's going to add 18 jobs, but those people make $80,000 a year. That's up in the Pendleton area. Still a lot of stuff happening up in the Pendleton area. So.
Yeah, the city, since it's expanded and doubled in size,
And you can ride up Clemson Boulevard and see the new houses going up there now on the left coming from this direction.
yeah, in front of the mill there. It's going to be mixed though. It's going to be retail and housing and.
Retail and housing, so we're happy about that. Clemson University has great plans to redevelop Fance Grove and make that trail system and all of that much more user-friendly, and dress it up instead of, here's the entrance to the trail. They're talking about actually putting a pavilion and doing things like that.
That'll attract a lot of people to this area, because people are looking for those sort of.
Yeah, and there's a private group out at Sadler's Group right now helping state parks trying to develop or enhance the trail system out there. And so you got a lot of stuff going on in Anderson. I'm leaving out 75% of it, but
And it is festival season starting. You got everything from the Spring Jubilee to the chili cook-off to all these things going on.
all of
over.
those things, and both of those events are class events and bring in a lot of people.
Oh, from all over the place. I mean, you go to either one. I just mentioned those two because I know they're big ones. And you will talk to, well, of course, Pendleton has people from Scotland. I mean, that's part of their training. But they also have people from up and down the East Coast. And then the Chili Cook-Off have competitors from, again, up and down the East Coast, from the Midwest, from Texas, all sorts of places. So lots of people coming to our area for those things.
Yeah, but people wouldn't believe how many people are moving here. But if you just think 4 years ago, the traffic, now you think now, in 4 years, we used to complain. We didn't have any traffic. We got traffic now. But again, one of our biggest challenges is managing growth and keeping up with the infrastructure. But I think we have those well in hand, but we're always welcome to hear thoughts, ideas from anybody in the public.
And paving is starting on the roads.
Yes, paving is starting on the roads. 3 construction companies are going to start paving here pretty soon. Well, really, it'll be 4, so there's going to be a whole lot of paving going on by Anderson County, a whole lot of paving by the Anderson County Transportation Committee, and a whole lot of paving by the South Carolina Department of Transportation. So a lot of this stuff is going to get fixed up. And we appreciate our members of the General Assembly for supporting that.
Other than the budget, what are some other big challenges or things coming up between now and summer?
The budget is the largest one, but we've got some.
That affects everything. So,
Yeah, but we've got some economic development projects that we would really, really like to bring home. And again, we're not in the days where we would take anything. We're in the selection days now, where we want the right fit, but we still want a diversified economy to try to make us as recession-proof as possible. So we like some of this, and we like some of this, and we like some of this, but it's all good some of this. And our biggest thing is training and retraining and training and retraining. But the Technical High School, School District 5, should be opening here in June. That's going to be a big lick. We're really excited about that. We're really excited about what we're going to be able to do at TTI because, as you know, the county now owns the old TTI facility on 28. We already know that we're going to have a lineman school where you can go learn to be a lineman. We're also talking about criminal justice training out there. We're also talking about auto mechanics training out there. All of those things at TTI in that building, because it's going to be a partnership between us and Tri-County Tech, as it was envisioned to be, Representative Brian White's vision for that. And moving some county offices there, consolidating some other county offices, getting rid of some of this far-flung thing, try to make a place where you can go. You saw where Katie Smith was elected the president of the South Carolina elections official, but people don't understand that if they want to, go look what's happening with elections in Richland County, where they fired the whole board, and across the state where they're having so much trouble. So,
yeah, our elections people, I have mentioned this in the past, if you've ever gone out there and watched, particularly the one downtown, them help elderly and people with
Yep.
special needs vote, and I mean, they're patient and friendly, and if you've ever called, they know what they're talking about information-wise on the elections coming up and what you're supposed to do, and can tell you in a minute. They don't have to transfer you around 5 times.
and it's interesting, you know, we just had Teacher of the Year from Wren, and now we understand there's a coach from Wren, middle school coach, who's going to be Coach of the Year for the state. You know, there's a lot of superlatives and a lot of good things happening in Anderson County. Museum, we finally got the fire alarm fixed, so we're happy about that. I mentioned that before, but that's a big deal.
New store at the museum? The
New store.
Whitner's Mercantile?
Whitner's Mercantile, you can go in there and get any gift that you need for somebody who's not from Anderson, who is from Anderson, and they really have a good selection, and all of that money goes to help us support our museum.
You're talking about economic development, though. Anderson continues to be the leader in international development. Is
Yes.
that are we still courting international companies?
Yes, well, some of our international companies we're working with right now who are planning some major expansions. But yes, we are still a destination for people like that, and we want to continue to be that. We still want all of those foreign flags flying in Anderson County.
It's 18 countries and 50 some odd businesses, right?
Yes, and we want to continue to have more.
They've been good citizens to the county.
They've been really good citizens. I mean, Michelin's been here so long, people forget they're a French company. You know, Bosch, they forget that's a German company. A&I Engineering, that's an Irish company. Mergon, Irish company. You know, there's just a bunch of here. We're still the only place that I know of that has a company from Monte Carlo. So, you know, I'm not saying it's for tax reasons, but it might be.
Yeah, and those really are. I mean, the engineering one from Ireland you just mentioned has really been growing and hiring people. I saw.
They bought a building that had been vacant for some time. They've already added on to it, and now they have plans to add on it again. They make switchgear, which is an electrical component, and they're blowing up, and we couldn't be happier.
And from a domestic side, we're internationally known for our tactical medical solutions.
Tactical Medical just won the Import-Export Award of the Year.
That's for the whole country.
For the whole United States of America, and they have great and massive plans for expansion, and so we're excited about that. Again, terminal still under construction. Mentioned the bathroom Green Pond, open up for that. The other thing we did last week, which I think we're the first in the state, county, was to designate 2 spots at our Veterans Affairs Office for combat veterans. And so if you go up to the Ronald P. Townsend building where our Veterans Affairs Office is, you will see 2 spaces painted African violet, and the signs say for combat veterans, combat wounded. So if you're a member, you have a Purple Heart, that parking space is there for you 365 days out of the year. That's yours. You earned it. Nobody else can park there. The best thing, you need to do a special thing with Steve Newton on the Mills Steve's the brain on that,
Okay.
as he is on many other
Is
things.
it actually moving or is it just,
No, we're actually doing things. Hopefully, we're gonna have Equinox purchased by the end of this week. And, cleanup and things like that are moving.
okay, because that's some property Anderson can expand with.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess spring has sprung and we'll get together after April Fool's Day and not fool anybody and talk about, because at the end of that, we're talking about summer.
Yep.
And,
Which is never slow around here.
right.